In 2026, something changed that most Americans still don't know about. For the very first time in history, the full retirement age for Social Security is now officially 67, not 65, not 66, 67. And it applies to every single person born in 1960 or later. That means millions of people approaching retirement right now are still planning around a number that no longer applies to them at all. For decades, 65 was the number everyone knew. Your parents retired at 65. Movies and TV shows used 65. Even most people planning their own retirement today still say 65 without thinking twice. That number is now wrong, and believing it can cost you real money. Think about how deep that assumption runs. Retirement parties still say 65 and out. Birthday cards still joke about turning 65 and finally being done. Entire retirement budgets get built around a number that quietly stopped being true. Nobody sent out a memo. The rule just changed, slowly, in the background, for over 40 years. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly how this change happened, why 2026 is the year it finally became fully official, what it actually means for your monthly check, and one exception buried in the rules that surprises almost everyone. By the end, you'll know your real number, not the outdated one. Quick disclaimer first, I'm not a financial advisor, a CPA, or an attorney. This video is educational only based on public Social Security Administration rules. Always confirm your own full retirement age using your personal Social Security statement. My name is James. This channel breaks down exactly how Social Security, Medicare, and IRS rules affect your retirement income every single week. If that's useful to you, subscribe now. Next week, I'm covering a Medicare change tied to this exact same age shift. Quick question. What year were you born? Drop it in the comments right now. I'll tell you your real full retirement age. Let me introduce you to Susan. Susan was born in 1960. She turned 66 this year in 2026. Her whole life, she assumed she'd get her full Social Security check at 65. Her mother did. Her older coworkers did too. She even planned her retirement party for next year, right around her 66th birthday. But Susan is about to find out that assumption is no longer true. And it's going to affect exactly when she can afford to stop working and how much she'll have to live on when she does. Here's the first thing to understand. This change didn't happen overnight. Congress actually passed this back in 1983. Lawmakers knew people were living longer. Life expectancy kept climbing every decade. The math behind Social Security simply didn't work anymore with a fixed retirement age of 65. So they decided to slowly raise the full retirement age over several decades, 2 months at a time, so nobody would feel a sudden shock. For people born in 1954 or earlier, full retirement age stayed at 66. For people born between 1955 and 1959, it crept up gradually, 2 months per birth year. 1955 meant 66 in 2 months. 1956 meant 66 in 4 months. 1957 meant 66 in 6 months. 1958 meant 66 in 8 months. 1959 meant 66 in 10 months, just 2 months short of the full 67. It kept climbing year by year, almost invisibly, in small enough steps that nobody ever felt a single dramatic jump. And now, in 2026, that slow phase-in has finally fully arrived. Anyone born in 1960 or later has a full retirement age of exactly 67. No exceptions. No gradual steps left. Just 67 flat. Here's the second thing to understand. This isn't just a number on paper. It's not a bureaucratic detail buried in a government pamphlet somewhere. It directly controls how much money you get every single month for the rest of your life, based entirely on the exact age you decide to file. If Susan claims at 62, 5 years before her real full retirement age of 67, her benefit is permanently reduced by 30%. Not for a few years. Forever. If her full benefit would have been $2,200 a month, claiming at 62 drops that to just $1,540 for the rest of her life. Here's the third thing to understand. If Susan waits past 67 all the way to 70, she doesn't just avoid a penalty, she earns a bonus. Her benefit grows by 8% for every year she waits up to age 70. That's a 24% increase above her full benefit, spread across 3 full years of waiting. Her $2,200 check becomes $2,728 a month, guaranteed. Backed by the federal government, no stock market required, no risk of losing value, just a fixed, predictable increase for every year of patience, month after month, until she hits 70. Here's the fourth thing. This one trips up a lot of people. There's a strange exception buried in the rules. If you were born on January 1st of any year, Social Security treats you as if you were born in the previous year instead. It sounds like a technicality, but it's written directly into how the agency processes birth dates. So someone born January 1st, 1960, actually uses the 1959 rules, giving them a full retirement age of 66 and 10 months, not a full 67. It's a small quirk affecting a relatively small number of people, but if your birthday happens to fall on that exact date, it genuinely changes your number, and it's worth double checking rather than assuming. Here's the fifth thing. A lot of people assume this change means they have to work 2 extra years compared to their parents. That's not quite right either. You can still claim as early as 62, exactly like before. Nothing about the earliest claiming age moved. What changed is how much you lose by doing so. The gap between claiming early and claiming at full retirement age just got a little wider, because full retirement age itself moved further away from 62, stretching the reduction over a longer span of months. In simple terms, the penalty for claiming early didn't get smaller. It got bigger, without most people even noticing. Here's the sixth thing, and it matters for working retirees specifically. If you claim before your real full retirement age and you're still earning income, the earnings test still applies. This rule hasn't gone away just because the full retirement age moved. In 2026, that limit is $24,800 a year. Earn more than that while claiming early, and Social Security withholds $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above the limit. Susan is planning to keep consulting part-time after she steps back from her full-time job. If she claims at 62 and earns $30,000 that year, she'd lose roughly $2,600 of her benefit on top of the 30% early claiming reduction she already took. That's not a one-time penalty either. It applies every single year she's under her full retirement age and over the limit. Here's the seventh thing. This shift also affects spousal and survivor benefits, not just individual retirement benefits. A spouse's benefit and a survivor's benefit are both calculated based on the worker's full retirement age too, using the exact same chart. If Susan's husband claims early and locks in a reduced benefit, her future survivor benefit, if he passes away first, is based on what he actually receives, not on what he could have received by waiting. The new 67 threshold applies to that calculation as well, which means couples now need to plan around a later reference point than they may have grown up expecting. This is often the single most overlooked piece of the entire conversation, because most couples only think about their own individual number, not the ripple effect on each other. Let's put Susan's full picture together. Her real full retirement age is 67, not 65, and not 66. That's 2 full years later than she originally assumed. Claim at 62, and she gets $1,140 a month, permanently reduced, with earnings test penalties if she keeps working. Wait until 67, and she gets her full $2,200. Wait until 70, and she gets $2,128, over $1,000 more per month than claiming at 62. Across 20 years of retirement, that gap adds up to well over $280,000 in total lifetime benefits. All from one number she had wrong for most of her adult life. To be fair, claiming earlier than 67 still makes sense for some people. If your health is a genuine concern, if you truly need the income immediately with no other savings, or if you're single with no spousal benefit at stake, claiming before 67 can still be the right call for your specific situation. This new number doesn't erase personal circumstances. It just means the starting point for that decision shifted, and pretending otherwise leads to planning around the wrong math. Here's an eighth thing worth knowing. This shift also causes confusion with Medicare. Medicare eligibility still starts at 65, completely separate from Social Security's full retirement age. That means for anyone born 1960 or later, there's now a real gap. Medicare starts at 65. Full Social Security starts 2 years later at 67. Susan can enroll in Medicare well before she claims her full Social Security benefit. And a lot of people don't realize those 2 ages have split apart. The 2-year gap creates a real planning window where healthcare coverage starts, but full retirement income doesn't, and it catches a lot of people off guard financially right in the middle of that stretch. Here's one final detail almost nobody mentions. Even though full retirement age is now officially 67, the maximum claiming age is still 70. Waiting past 70 gives you 0 additional benefit. The 8% yearly bonus simply stops. If you're already 70 and haven't claimed yet, you're leaving money on the table with nothing growing in return. So here's what to actually do with this. First, check your own birth year against the new chart and confirm your real full retirement age using your My Social Security account online, not old assumptions from your parents' generation. It takes about 5 minutes. Second, if you're married, sit down together and calculate how this affects both your individual benefit and your spouse's future survivor benefit, since the two are directly connected. Third, if you're planning to work while claiming early, run the earnings test numbers before you file, not after, so there are no surprises in your first year of retirement. Fourth, if you were born right around January 1st of any year, double check which birth year Social Security actually uses for your file, because that small detail changes your specific number. If this cleared up a number you've had wrong your whole life, share it with someone close to retirement age, because most people are still planning around 65 without realizing it changed years ago. It's an easy conversation to have this week. and it could genuinely change how someone plans their next few years. Drop your birth year in the comments, and I'll tell you your exact full retirement age. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, because I cover changes exactly like this every single week, breaking down the real numbers behind the headlines. I'll see you in the next one.